Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am Laura, and this is my first episode of Unapologetically Me, where I intend to talk about all things religion from the perspective of a former believer. It took me a while to embrace new labels after throwing in the towel on religion, but I can now comfortably say I'm a humanist, agnostic atheist. Nevertheless, I still think about religion a lot. So, I am here to talk to you about my experiences, what I learned, and what my current understanding of the world is. In this short intro video, I want to start by telling you just a little bit about myself and then what I expect to talk about in upcoming episodes. My life is something akin to a choose-your-own-adventure. I was born and raised in the agnostic household of two previously religious parents. My mom had been raised LDS and my dad Christian. Suffice it to say that when I was growing up, they didn't talk much about religion. I used to say that even despite this, I always believed in God. But looking back and reflecting on it, I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, I believed in ghosts, monsters, aliens, and for a short, terrifying time, that walking on dirt left me vulnerable to be eaten by the worms and tremors, or that turning off the lights would allow the gremlins to get me. So let's just say that for as long as I can remember, I had a concept of God, although clearly not one that would keep me safe from the gremlins at night. Anywho, in high school, I was exposed to Christianity through several different friends, ranging from your average non-dom to Episcopalian to LDS. I did Bible studies with them, I hung out with their various youth groups, and I sometimes attended their Sunday services at this or that church. I loved the atmosphere and the people, but I wasn't too keen on all that Jesus-y stuff or the Bible teachings. It actually, at the time, felt kind of awkward or made me uncomfortable. Nevertheless, I was curious what all the fuss was about, and so I went out and got a student Bible. And I read the whole dang thing. Seriously, dude. All of it. As a teenager, I found it strange. Parts were beautiful, parts were awful, and parts were downright confusing or boring. Fast forward to boot camp at 18, and there I was, waking up at dark 30, marching around all day, getting barked at by TIs, and trying my best to stay serious. I mean, it was fun, but it was also stressful. That first week, they walked us all into this huge, and I mean huge, Christian worship hall and briefed us all on Sunday services that they held for the various different religions. You could pick whichever one you want, or you could choose to pick none and stay back at the barracks and clean and hang around, I guess. But they quickly went over all the various services, and no surprise, I picked the one that sounded the most uplifting and fun. Live music, videos, inspirational talks, so I chose the Wiccan service. No, of course I didn't. I went along with the vast majority of my fellow trainees to the massively huge room to attend the Christian rock concert. Church service. And my experience, as you can imagine, was transcendent. I was in love. I get home, I rush off, and I get baptized. But the story doesn't stop there. I go off to my technical training, where I meet a whole bunch of people, have a whole bunch of sex, and attend, I think, exactly 0 church services. But we did hang out at the chapel and play board games. Does that count as going to church? So despite my whirlwind love affair with Christianity and my shotgun baptism, my passions seem to have cooled quickly. I would passively believe in some semblance of a Christian God from about 18 till about 25 or so, saying, I'm pretty sure there's a God, but I don't really believe the Bible is the word of God. 25 is where I really took the dive. I was in a bad relationship, I had a preschooler, I worked full time, and I was depressed. An amazing, inspirational friend of mine was talking one day about the church that she attended, and suddenly, out of the blue, I wanted what she had. So off I skipped right into what would be a good 6-year adventure into Christianity. I'm going to go over that more in a later episode, especially the exploration about how I came to decide that Christianity was right for me, and then how I concluded years later that I was wrong. And trust me, both were a process. Needless to say, I asked too many questions in the long run. Armed with my desire to hold on to God while shedding all those things I couldn't reconcile with Christianity, I not only dived, but I cannonballed into Islam. And if my relationship with Christianity was a love affair turned long-term dating, my relationship with Islam was a freaking porn. Except without any sex. Or even any naked people. But guys, it was intense. As with my Christian walk, I will cover my Muslim period in a future episode as well. There's a lot to unpack there, as the experiences taught me a lot about myself as well as my friends and family. Coming out of Islam, I was on a roll seeking knowledge about who we are, where we come from, what we can know about reality and the natural world. I delved deep into lectures, talks, and papers on everything from evolution to astrophysics. People like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Daniel Dennett, and Lawrence Krauss replaced my running music. Finally, I realized that if I was going to obsess over this acquisition of knowledge, I might as well make it official and get another degree. So I returned to school to study cultural anthropology. My goal was to learn more about human nature, human cultures, and our history. And guess when my grad date is, people? This month, October 2020. That's right! I get to participate in a virtual graduation amidst COVID and what feels like a national wildfire or shitstorm or whatever. However you want to label what's going on right now, the achievement of earning this degree is just a small ray of excitement at this point, but I'll take what I can get. Throughout my religious experiences, I had always had the energy of social activism pulsing through me. I always participated to my fullness and was, unfortunately for those around me, quite outspoken. I volunteered at children's ministries, I attended Bible and Quran studies, I ran women's groups, I even gave a public speech on my experiences as a Muslim. But I have always also had this academic side to this crazy brain. I never stopped studying or asking questions. It wasn't until I let go of religious thinking that I realized what I'm really interested in, the questions that I really think the most about, were all about humanity. Where did we come from? What do we know about ourselves? What do we know about the world around us? Why do we believe what we believe? What is the right thing to do? And how can we tell that it's the right thing to do? And smack in the middle of all those questions looms, yeah, you guessed it, religion. So creating this channel is my way of participating in that public conversation about theism and atheism, religion and secularism, and religious versus humanist morals and values. In my future episodes, I want to talk about things like morality, sex and gender issues, religious programming, belief, philosophy, biology, and a whole slew more topics. I'm going to discuss what I learned and delve deep into questions I have yet to answer. So my intention is to take an amateur anthropologist's approach to religion using me as a case study. What did I go through? What did I learn? How did I feel? How can I relate to these topics? So there you have it in a nutshell. If you like, you can help me by hitting that subscribe button and leave a thumbs up or at least some comments. Bad or good, I really want to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to doing future episodes with you.